Hello! So, Unknown Worlds just dropped another huge content preview for Subnautica 2. This one features the collector Leviathan. You know, that giant squid thing that eats us in the trailer. But there's also a ton of hidden goodies, and even an unannounced new Leviathan that was left in. So I'm gonna go through this entire video and pick it apart, hopefully finding things that you might have missed. Also, if you didn't know, Unknown Worlds is selling super cute limited edition plushies with U2s. So go grab one while you can.
Hey, I'm Corey Strader. I was art director on Subnautica 1 and Below Zero, and on Subnautica 2 I'm the visual development lead. We know fans have been looking forward to learning more about the creatures in Subnautica 2. So in this dev video we want to take you through the process of how we create a creature from the very beginning all the way through the various stages of development. We're going to show you how we created the collector Leviathan, starting at the beginning with the concept art. The visual design for this Leviathan started with multiple rounds of quick, low-detail thumbnail sketches. Here we're focused on exploring a wide range of shapes and silhouettes. It was important to find a look that both aligned with the design brief and was distinct from the Leviathans in our previous Subnautica games. Out of all these designs, this Cthulhu-inspired beast resonated with the team. There's 4 tentacles to grab, crush, swat, and terrify players. The next pass, though still rough, reworked the head and body and added some color and patterning. We wanted to move it further from the giant squid look and add an element of surprise to the design, so we explored having the body split open to reveal a glowing internal structure. Further refinements and iterations on various elements followed. Explorations of different looks for the internal structure, mouth anatomy, head patterning, and deadly tentacle tips. Eventually, we ended up with this final concept of the Leviathan and all of its nightmarish glory. As a final note, the concepting doesn't always stop once a creature has entered production. At multiple points after the first pass on the model had been done, and we'd had a chance to see it in game, we did paintovers to improve the head patterns and rework the mouth design. Hope you enjoyed this look at how we concepted the collector Leviathan.
So this actually has a lot of information, but it's for the future of Subnautica 2 and not the present with the collector that we're seeing right now. Because we're seeing a lot of concepts, and these concepts, while they're not used for the collector or even on the roster anymore for the collector. And real quick, see that Cyclops silhouette? Show the size? That's pretty sneaky, but these could actually show the size of the Leviathans that they're considering bringing into the game in the future. These are scrapped concepts for the collector. However, they could be used in the future for something else entirely different. Doesn't mean they have to throw it away, so keep that in mind whenever you see concept artwork that you assume is just thrown away. I love that they put the Cyclops there too, because that's pretty cool to show the scale, because pretty well everyone that's a fan of Subnautica knows how big that creature is compared to everything else. So that was a pretty nice nod to the old game to bring that in. Cyclops obviously isn't going to be in Subnautica 2, guys, just to be clear with you.
Hi, my name is Marcelo, and I'm the lead character artist on Subnautica 2. And today, I'm going to give you guys a quick glance behind the curtain on the process of modeling the collector Leviathan. As with pretty much all creatures that we make, it starts out as a single sphere, that I then start modeling its shape. This process is very similar to traditional clay sculpting. At this point, I'm focusing on getting the main forms and proportions of the creature down, so that I have everything where I need it without worrying about detail. This is by far the most important part of the whole process, where I establish a strong base that I can build upon. After that's done, I start building the model structure, and this is where I can have some fun making it look and feel believable. As this guy is very large, it takes a lot of detail to make sure that it holds up in quality up close. And that means many hours of drawing little wrinkles and pores, so that in the end it looks just right. And after many hours of work, here's the final sculpt. After we get the sculpt done, we go through a lot of technical processes and iteration that I won't bore you with, until we get to the final result in an engine that we can play with and that you can see now. Thank you for watching, and I can't wait for you guys to see this in game.
So this one was pretty straightforward. There was nothing really hidden in it or that I can dive deeper into other than make note that sculpting like this is insane, and you have to be very talented to be able to create models like this. Funny thing, way back when I used to play a different game, and I found out that sculpting and character creation in general is very expensive. So start to finish, from what I understand for this one game, their characters were like 7,000 to 14,000 per creature made. This is a pretty damn big creature, and this guy spent a lot of time making it, so I wouldn't be surprised if this is, a 5-figure creature that's been made for the game. Otherwise, let's jump into the next segment.
Hey everybody, my name is Colin Knipple. I'm the principal animator on Subnautica 2. I've been with the studio since Natural Selection 2, and I was lead animator on the past 2 Subnautica projects. We animators at Unknown Worlds like to wear a lot of hats in our department, so I'll be showing you some of the rigging work I did on the Collector Leviathan. Something different we did for Subnautica 2 is that we're using Blender. Blender is an open source project, meaning all of you can go and download to use this tool for free right now. Blender was a tool we investigated way back at the start of Subnautica, but it really hit its strides around the time of Below Zero, and it felt production ready when we began this project. I've enjoyed using the rapidly developing software, and I'm pleased to know our fans can get inspired by using the same software the Subnautica devs use. Another new aspect of Subnautica is our use of Unreal and our adoption of Unreal control rigging. The workflow has some cool innovations new to rigging systems. With this new tool, we can bring previously impossible rigging techniques into our game. I love learning new systems and seeing what I can get out of them, so this has been a lot of fun for me. What control rigs have allowed us to do is build our cinematics within our game world. With this, we can build nuanced and exciting cinematics faster than we could have dreamed with our previous tools. These new tools will allow us to push cinematics and creature interactions to a new level of immersion. The Collector Leviathan has been a labor of love for a while now. I think we have a great team on it, and I hope you all enjoy this new terror when Subnautica 2 comes to early access. Thanks for watching.
So I actually love this, even though there's not too much here either. The next one has a lot of information though, but for this one, for the breakdown on rigging, I love that they're using Blender, and funny enough, the Red Plague actually has most of its stuff made in Blender. Most of the animation work, the model creation, pretty well everything is handled in Blender, so if you want to learn anything about 3D animation or 3D modeling, Blender is definitely the way to go.
Hello, my name is Stefan Sorensen, and I am the Senior Technical Animator on Subnautica 2. And in this video, we're going to discuss the tentacle animation tech that I worked on for the Collector Leviathan. So, to start off, for its general movement, the tentacles operate within Unreal's physics system. I set up how the tentacles react and simulate within the world with an aim to give a sense of weight and flow within water, and making them feel more grounded and realistic within the world. Now, one of the challenges was to have the player or vehicle interact with the tentacles while they were simulating. So additional animation technologies were leveraged, such as physical animation and control rig. This allowed that to take place. Finally, a custom-built synchronization system for animation for the complex interactions when the tentacle grabs the player or vehicle. When all the systems are working together, this provides a fairly cool visual experience for the Collector Leviathan when it grabs the player.
So now we move into actually seeing the Collector Leviathan and what it does in the game world, some of its animations, and even a very odd PDA message, which we'll get into in just a second. The animation rigging and everything that goes with this creature is pretty advanced, and you can it's pretty safe to say this is one of the final bosses of animation, The developer, not the creature, obviously, but either way, the way they've been able to make things for this creature turns everything into pretty much a cinematic experience. And you're going to see a really good example of that here coming up pretty soon. But it looks like it's out of a movie or like you're in a movie. Also, you'll notice already the PDA came up with a message, and it's confirming we're going to be in a life pod, and there's something north of the life pod, and it's going to be DNA mutations, I think. Obviously for a digestion gene.
Hi everyone, I'm Lewis, designer on Subnautica 2, currently focusing my work on Leviathans in the game. Here, I will walk you through some of the process for developing one of our main Leviathans, the Collector. The first step is a design document where ideas are outlined for achieving the desired challenge level and emotional tone. Here, I detail the sequence for when the Collector has grabbed the player and is about to swallow them whole, using storyboards and references to complement the detailed brief. Because of my past experience as an animator, I was also able to jump in and help out with some of the animations on the creatures as well, including this one. This sequence was done directly in Unreal, using its native animation tools. After putting in the main poses and deciding on the overall beats, I can start refining my animation curves, which track the position, rotation, and scale of every part of the rig. After days of fine-tuning, incorporating feedback, and the occasional raging of my screen, I handed off the finished file to be incorporated into the game. Of course, animation is only part of it. Visual effects, sound effects, simulations, these are all layered by other team members to enhance the moment. On the implementation side, we used lots of built-in Unreal tools such as the behavior tree. However, our engineers also provide custom-made tools based on design needs, providing extensive control over every element of the behavior. From general conditions under which the creature appears, to its speed and weight, to its moment-to-moment decision-making, based on the environment as well as the player's actions, every aspect is accounted for. As you can see here, it's spotted the player from afar, and now that it's close enough, well, dinner time. It's always so satisfying to see all the elements come together after months of hard work alongside talented colleagues. And the Leviathans make this extra special. I really can't wait for everyone to experience the end result.
All right, so we had a really big reveal right away, so I'm just going to pause this here, because if you look at the very bottom, which I'm expanding right now, you'll see that there's a Leviathan concept that wasn't talked about, revealed, shown anywhere. It kind of looks like it has a bone-like face and kind of gives off Dunkleosteus vibes, you know? So think back to when they were showing us the concepts that came before the final product of the Collector Leviathan. That doesn't mean all of those were thrown away. They could have used those or manipulated them a little bit to become future Leviathans. So we may be looking at a roster of brand new creatures that we'll be seeing in the future. This one could be based off one of them right now. Anyways, let's continue. Here's the main key points off the documents that they had shown briefly. The Collector Leviathan is extremely intelligent, with numerous avenues for the AI to choose how it interacts with you or the world. It's intelligent and also very easy to irritate, and it doesn't like anything it doesn't recognize as natural to its environment. So thank you and everything that comes along with you. Something really cool with this creature is it uses bioluminescence to really try and portray where it is mentally, if it's angry, if it's docile, if it's hunting. I mean, this thing is very intelligent and very well put together. So you'll find this thing in the sparse plains, and the sparse plains are divided into areas of interest, and this Leviathan will begin its patrol when one of them are entered. As far as its listed behaviors, this creature is designed to wander around a designated area of its choosing, and when it's not doing anything, well, the flaps on its body are closed. It's pretty docile. When it senses a target, however, it'll slowly move towards them and stalk it. When it's close enough, it'll release a sound and then a shockwave, and then swim quickly to you, grab you, and moderately damage your vehicle if it just releases it, or it might attack your vehicle and do a lot of damage before sending it flying. If it grabs you, well, you're lunch. If you do manage to escape and hide, it'll give up after a couple seconds. And incredibly, this creature will react to sound and light. If you make a noise, it'll become aware of you, try and find where you are, but if you have a bright light on, it'll become aware of you, roar, and react strongly, especially if that light is up close to it. There may be areas with murky water that make it really hard to see. This creature is very intelligently made, so it's going to know when to use things to its advantage. And then we jump from the documents and how they wanted to design this creature to it actually being in the game world. And there is that shockwave that it's supposed to release. We can't hear any sounds, unfortunately, but I do want to make a note, and I love this. Everything's so cinematic. It's not like it locks you in and that's it and you're doomed. Kind of like the Reaper Leviathan. This thing dynamically grabs you wherever you are. It reaches out for you wherever you are. And I just love that. It makes such a cinematic experience. Like, it's so cool because this must be what it's like to witness the industry standards bar get shoved up to the damn ceiling. Like, damn.
Hi, I'm Lauren Nadal. I'm a VFX artist on Subnautica 2. Here you can see me prototyping the Leviathan's mood feature using shaders in Unreal Engine 5. VFX has to translate the gameplay into visual cues for the player, but also it needs to sell the idea that this is an alien creature, not just a gameplay element. Let's take a look at its exhaust vents. Different layers of a particle system create this effect. We ask questions like, is this emitting energy? Does it need more bubbles? We start from a simple base and then we continue to iterate until the final product you will get to see in the game. Thank you for watching and see you soon.
So it's really cool to see the bioluminescence on this creature, but there's so much more to this that people don't understand. And it's to make good games, you need a solid team that can think outside of the box. Because at the end of the day, you can have the coolest looking creature, but if it doesn't make sense, the creature's integrity is critically hit. And hearing Laura talk about how they ask out-of-the-box questions like, if a glowing area releases heat or energy, I genuinely think people like this are on a different level of creative intelligence, and they're the ones that make the creatures like this just make sense. It's cool to see its work-in-progress bioluminescence, but they're the ones that will dictate how much of a message this sends to us. Think about it this way. Through colors and visual cues, they're going to give us a ton of information with 0 words spoken to us.
Hi, I am Antonio, AI gameplay lead in Subnautica 2. Today, I want to show you how we create creature behaviors. We use what we call classic AI. Here, you can see Unreal Engine behavior trees. In this demo, I want to distract the Leviathan with flares. To achieve that, I will be using our stimulus system. As you can see, it's pretty easy to add nodes, conditions, and connect them like a flowchart. Once the game is running, the creature will follow this blueprint to decide what to do. And there it goes. The Leviathan is now chasing the flare instead of me. Pretty cool. Our main goal with creatures was to make them feel reactive. We have improved the hero trees to use dual utility reasoning. So the creature is constantly reevaluating the situation in real time. Of course, it is difficult to process all this information. We have developed powerful debugging tools so designers can actually see what's happening. Can't wait for you to discover all the cool behaviors we have created.
Pretty well everything that was said in this breaks down to we have advanced creature AI, and there could be hundreds of different possibilities if they wanted in theory for their creatures and how they react. Also, real quick, shout out for this badass flare animation. It's cool that he took this flare and made it into a vital piece of equipment that we can use to stun or distract the Collector Leviathan. Funny enough, in Subnautica, the original game, the flare was pretty well useless. This thing didn't even take the attention of Leviathans that were attacking you. The flare was pretty much just a drop, and boom, here's your infinite light source. You know, it didn't even distract anything if you threw it, or I don't even think the flare gun did anything to creatures, but it's kind of cool that now we'll have objects that can interact with the creatures. I know it doesn't really do much of anything when he throws it, but like they have to program that, so it's, you know, it stopped, which was the main thing, but then it would have to do something else, probably grab the flare, swat it away after a couple seconds, so on and so forth. But that's pretty well all I have for you right now in this video and the breakdown. Now it's time for the incredibly talented Corey Strader to close out my video.
Thanks for watching. Want to know more? Come join our Discord and follow our social channels. Clear.